Hi everybody, Al Bernstein with the Boxing Channel, here with our preview of the match between Super Bantamweight champ Guillermo Rigondeaux and former Bantamweight champ Joseph Agbeko. This will be the first time we'll see Rigondeaux back in the ring since he delivered a boxing masterclass in beating Nonito Donaire back in April. And he takes on a rough customer in Agbeko, who, as I said, was a former Bantamweight champion and knows his way around big fights. Rigondeaux, the 30-year-old former Olympic champion who is an iconic amateur fighter, and won his first pro title in his 9th professional fight, beating Rico Ramos and stopping him in the process. Then, just 2 fights later, he was in a mega fight with Nonito Donaire, one in which he came in the underdog. He gave Donaire a boxing lesson and managed to survive a knockdown in that fight and come back strong to continue and win a big decision against Donaire and put himself in the top 10 of the pound-for-pound rankings. As for the 33-year-old Agbeko, he is a rugged fighter from Ghana who now lives in New York. He's best known for his matches with Abner Mares, the first one in which there was a huge low blow controversy, in which Mares apparently landed many low blows for which he was not penalized. Then, of course, Mares came back in the second fight to win a untarnished decision win over Agbeko. But now, with a win under his belt against Luis Melendez, in which Agbeko got back to form and won a unanimous and lopsided decision, now Agbeko is ready to challenge at a weight class above the bantamweight division where he is most comfortable. And that brings us to the keys to victory. For Joseph Agbeko, cutting off the ring is mandatory if he expects to have any chance to beat Rigondeaux. Nonito Donaire wasn't able to do that once he was forced to actually be aggressive after getting himself in a hole. He had to go after Rigondeaux. Now, the double left hook is a great weapon against a southpaw, and Agbeko can throw that punch. In fact, he's very good at throwing it, and I think that could be a key to him having a chance to win this fight. He can't get discouraged. Many times when you fight Rigondeaux, you could, because you simply can't hit him. He's making these rounds more and more difficult as time goes on. Ironically, Donaire didn't get discouraged and was able to knock Rigondeaux down later in the fight, but just couldn't keep up the pressure and, of course, lost that fight. But for Agbeko, he's got to remain patient as those rounds go on as he tries to make things work. Rigondeaux always uses lateral movement very effectively against fighters he's fighting and does it to perfection. He's an excellent counterpuncher, and he'll want to do that against Agbeko, who will likely have to take the lead against him in many instances. And I think he's got to sting him early. He's got to get some respect from Agbeko or maybe even hurt him early. I think he did that against Nonito Donaire, and that's part of the reason why Donaire was a little more reticent to charge in or at least try to attack as much offensively. He knew that he could be stunned by punches by Rigondeaux. For Guillermo Rigondeaux, this trip back to the ring after his win over Donaire wasn't easy. He had issues with HBO, which is televising this fight, and they weren't too thrilled about putting Rigondeaux back on the air because they felt his style was not fan-friendly, and he and his promoter Bob Arum had to go to the mat with HBO to make sure he could get back on the air. And in doing so, they picked a very good fighter, Joseph Agbeko, to have him fight. So Rigondeaux very much wants to prove to everyone that he is a fighter that's not only a winner, but quite watchable and quite interesting. Now, that could have some impact on how he performs in this fight. Will he try to be more aggressive than we normally see Rigondeaux? Remember, he did stop Rico Ramos in a fight only 2 fights prior to beating Donaire. So it's not as if he doesn't engage or can't be a power puncher. Now, this fight will be December 7th at the Boardwalk Hall. I mentioned that it will be televised on HBO. You can also see full pre-fight and post-fight coverage of this match on the Boxing Channel. So visit us to see coverage beforehand and also the post-fight press conference.